Okay, hey! Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. The court's in session. The court's in session. Bonjour, and welcome back to the show. Welcome back to BOOZHOO. NANABOOZHOO. Getting just serious. The podcast about OJIBWE language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO, and today we're going to talk about the OJIBWE phrase of the day. MISKWA, MIIKANA, the red road. MISKWA, red. MIIKANA, road. When the Anishinaabe, when a true Indian follows the red road, he follows the path of the true human being. They say he lives in harmony with Mother Earth. So, this is a story of Val Kilmer. You know, after Val Kilmer got out of the Air Force or the Navy or whatever, when he stopped being a Top Gun and he hung up his volleyball shorts for good, he got a job with the FBI's. He became an FBI investigator and he lived in Washington. But the day came where his boss called him in. He was like, "Hey, Val Kilmer, how'd you like to go on a special mission? We're going to send you out to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. You know, we want a real Indian agent to go in there and, talk to him as one of their own." And Val Kilmer is like, "What are you talking about, man?" He goes, "Well, you're part Indian, aren't you?" And Val Kilmer goes, "Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess my dad was, but I didn't even know him. I grew up here in Washington, D.C. I joined the Air Force and I became a Top Gun. And now you're telling me you want me to go to the reservation? I don't know anything about those people." He goes, "Well, look, man, just go in there. We want you to investigate a murder on a Pine Ridge Reservation. And so I don't know, go out there and play that Indian card up. Tell him you're an Indian." So he goes, "All right." So he flies out to South Dakota, and the FBI guy meets him there, and he's like, "Hey, so you're the part Indian agent, huh?" And he investigates the murder or whatever. And along the way, he meets Graham Greene, who's like a real long-haired Indian cop. And he learns the Indian ways and how to, how to give tobacco and to trade. And he meets a shapeshifter called Jimmy Looks Twice. Jimmy Looks Twice. And he meets this really cute Indian teacher. And she's like taking water samples. And she's like, "Hey, man, there's something wrong here." Well, what happens? Long story short, he and old Graham Greene find themselves out in the bluffs. And, they found out that that FBI agents were actually the bad guys. And he had to defend his Indian cousins. And he had discovered that he was going to live the true Indian way. He was going to turn his back on his white ways and in search of truth and harmony with Mother Earth. But the gig's up, the car breaks down and they're running into the bluffs. And he turns around, he's just mad, he's shaking. He's like, "Hey, man, this land is not for sale. Why don't you go back to Washington? You don't belong here like us true natives." And then the cop's like, "Hey, man, we're going to shoot you." And Val Kilmer's all like, "Oh, really? Well, look up." And just then, all the Indians got together at the same time, and they all had rifles. They're like, hey, I think you're outgunned. Why don't you all, Majan? And that is how Val Kilmer became, how he started to walk the red road, to live the life of a true human being. And that is when they started to call him by his true Indian name, Thunderheart. He was the Thunderheart. I don't know. So how are you guys doing? MISKWA, MIIKANA, the red road. Can you walk the way of Mother Earth? The way of Kichi Manadu? Or will you follow the way of the FBI's? The full-blooded Indians. And you have been watching BOOZHOO, NANABOOZHOO podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am NANABOOZHOO, and I will see you again. Kikawaba min, minawa, hawa. Wait up! Give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Hit the subscribe button. La la la.